Hi. So, I just wanted to pop on really quick and let you know that my schedule is changing a bit, I think. I don't know. So, for that reason, I'm going to close my books for personal readings for the time being. Obviously, the people who already have readings scheduled, nothing changes for you. We will do those readings on those dates and times, but I'm just not going to take any new bookings, at least for right now. So obviously, I will let you know if that changes. We're talking about May. Shouts out to you, May babies, Taurus and Gemini. I'm a cusper. My birthday is on the 20th. Oh my gosh. So, anyway, without further ado, let's get into the reading. We're going to be using the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. And then we're using this tarot deck. I need to find the name of it. It doesn't come with a book, which is really annoying to me, but I'll figure it out. I'll Google it because I have no clue. I got it a couple years ago. So without further ado, and obviously because of my schedule, the videos are going to come out probably a bit more sporadically. Just an FYI on that too, if you care. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, let's see who's next. 5-2. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be you guys. Like as I was sitting here shuffling the cards and just kind of getting the energy moving, I was thinking about you guys. Partly because too, like I was trying to think of which ones are left. I think it's you guys and two other ones. Right? Yeah. But then I just started circling in on you for some reason. So anyway, I'm trying to make these a little bit shorter, although I have not been successful. And most of them, your girl can get a bit long-winded. And like I said in the intro, I went from having an abundance of time to limited time. Just how that goes, right? Like the wheel changed. And these readings are a priority for me. I love putting these messages out. I want to be sure that I'm making enough time for them. And we're not taking these cards because I'm not quite at the point of taking a card. So I just want to say that out loud too. But anyway, so if I make them a little bit shorter, then I can do more of them in a day. And that to me feels good for the time being. So obviously I don't want to like shortchange a message or anything like that. I would never, rush through a message either, but we'll see how it goes. So anyway, if you're here, you are a 5-2, a heretic hermit. And, you carry that fifth line, heretic line on the conscious side, which is all about projection, good, bad, otherwise. It just, it is what it is. I feel like a lot of people who don't have a fifth line in their, especially, well, I don't know, either way, conscious or unconscious, I feel like I just remember the first human design reading that I got after I started kind of diving into it on my own. I'm a 5-1 profile, and I might have said this in a prior reading, but reading about my profile is exactly what got me hooked on human design. Like tears were shed, and I just felt seen for the first time in my effing life. And it was talking about the fifth line projection and how, people do project their expectations or their stuff basically, onto you. And again, that could be good or bad. Like, there's kind of that projection of being the savior, or that you can kind of step in and, save the day or take over, be a leader. You can. You absolutely can if it's right for you. And, the fifth line also comes with the other side, the flip side of that. If you either don't live up to the projection, or if you stay in the projection for too long, or, something else happens, then it's called getting burned at the stake, which sounds a bit dramatic, but it's kind of how it is. Have you ever had relationships or partnerships or jobs or whatever where like it started off great and then all of a sudden it changed and you're just kind of like, what the hell happened? So that's the fifth line, projection field. It's not you, truly, most times. If you're doing the work, right? Like, it's not you, it is them. And I also, every time, like with the fifth line, there is this amazing gift that comes with the fifth line of being in your integrity and knowing yourself so deeply and truly that literally nobody else can tell you who you are, because you already know. So that if they're saying blue blam bloom about you, you're like, that's not me, that's actually you, but okay. And then you have the second line, which is the hermit line. And this is what's interesting about the 5-2 and the 2-5 profiles, is that the fifth line has an interpersonal karma, meaning like you need other people to kind of fulfill your purpose. Like people are attracted in some capacity to fifth lines. But the second line is the hermit line, and it would rather prefer to be alone and not people that often. So there's this, delicate dance that kind of happens between the fifth line and the second line. The second line, no doubt you have your comfy space. You want your space to be comfy, because when you are done peopling, you need to be comfortable in your cave, whatever the cave is for you, whether that's your home, your bedroom, your office, your car, your nature, whatever it is, right? It is going to be and needs to be comfortable for you. And, the second line also comes with a natural aptitude or genius. But, the thing with that also is that the second line has a hard time seeing that within themselves. So they do need other people to recognize it. However, truly no one is going to motivate you better than you motivate yourself, especially, and really the 5-2 profile. So you need to rely on yourself as far as motivation to get stuff done. Follow that strategy and authority. Your profile is only one aspect of human design. Your type comes with a strategy and authority. Your strategy and authority is going to help you enter into the correct experiences, quote unquote, correct experiences for you. Even if you don't get it, you don't understand it. And your profile is how you interact with the energies and the people in those experiences. So they all kind of go together. We have Shaman, trust in higher forces. All of a sudden my throat is being weird. So it's either telling me to shut the hell up or I just, I wonder if there is something that you need to communicate and are having a hard time communicating. Maybe it's even just kind of the feeling that comes along with the profile, because obviously that's what we were talking about. So yeah, anytime throat starts going crazy, we start thinking communication. Look at all of these wands. Interesting. Page of Wands, King of Wands, Queen of Wands. Huh. It's rare when that happens. We have the Ten of Wands, the Star. I was actually trying to put that back in the deck. And then the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Interesting. Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, the Wheel of Fortune, Mother of Swords, Eight of Cups. Okay, I want to see. Let's see what this card says. Like when I think, before we do that, when I think shaman, I think like soul retrieval. I think, and by soul retrieval, I mean, let me put this book down. By soul retrieval, I don't, have you ever worked with a shaman before? Or, anyway, it's like about, I call them Horcruxes because I'm a Harry Potter nerd too. But, like our energy gets stuck in experiences and memories in our lives, right? Especially if you've ever read that book, The Body Keeps a Score. If you've done any of Joe Dispenza's, kind of trainings or meditations or anything, it's all about like how the energy lives in our body, but how that also it got trapped in an experience, an emotion, a story, and shamans, there's this journey basically where they find that energy that is stuck and they basically free it. So anyway, like that's what I think when I think shaman. So if it's about like energy getting stuck somewhere, or if you feel like your energy is stuck somewhere, we need to get it back. So let's see. It says, trust in your angels, guides, and ancestors. If you have given your power away, claim it back. There you go. On the inner planes, all of the shamans of times gone are... Wait. On the inner planes, all of the shamans of times gone by are helping the human race to understand the complexities of life and the needs of Mother Earth. Many are working as spiritual guides to light workers and light warriors. The shaman card brings the energy of your shaman guides to you. Shamans believe that when there was illness or disease, it was because a person's power had been left behind somewhere, or a negative pattern had installed itself in them. In trance, they would travel to the underworld to recall the energy and remove the quote-unquote demon. If this card comes to you, it's because you need to do some release work with lower energies or with your lack of trust in the spiritual energies that are guiding you. The shaman will aid you in your quest. Yeah. Especially, again, like going back to what we were saying about you guys and like needing to self-motivate. And if you don't feel like comfortable doing that, that is conditioning. That is probably because at some point down the road, somebody shamed you or made you feel bad about that inner knowing of, just kind of knowing that your motivation is different than other people, which is so fucking interesting, excuse me, that we have all of this fire out here, because fire wands are about the actions that we take and the motivation behind those actions that we take. This is why I love tarot. This is why, putting these messages out here is such a priority for me, because it is so cool how that just ends up happening. But again, right, and a big thing with human design is deconditioning. And for me, anyway, I feel like human design tends to find people at a point in their healing journey where it's time to go deeper, much deeper, because it will break your shit down, but like in the most validating and beautiful way. At least that's how it's been for me. So it's like trust the process, which is so funny because we have the star card out here. I wasn't even looking at that yet. Okay, so we start with the Daughter of Wands, or the Page of Wands. And again, like I said, wands are fire. You could be a fire sign. You don't have to be. You could have a lot of fire in your chart. Again, you don't have to. Just pointing that out. But the Page of Wands being about action, the literal actions that we take towards our goals and what we do. And like I said, it's the motivation behind the reasons why we do what we do. It's how we communicate those things. It's passion, creativity, desires, right? So it's the motivation and the communication behind those things. So the Page of Wands is, they're enthusiastic, they're adventurous, they're excited about something new. I love that we have the fireworks in the silhouette here, because it can be a bit like a firework where there's this huge burst of energy and then it's gone, right? So, it's kind of like they don't like being bored for very long. They're probably already bored by the time they actually start trying a thing, right? So but the whole purpose of that, though, is to actually try it and see if you like it, see if you don't like it. Does it work? Does it not work? Right? You don't have to keep spending energy on something that you don't already like, or that isn't going to work, right? So it's interesting that it's even paired with the 10 of Wands here, because the 10 of Wands is about overwhelm, it's about burden, but it's also a completion, because 10s are completion. So there's a finality aspect to it. So if you have been overwhelmed, if you have been burdened, then that would be coming to an end. And it would have to do with this Daughter of Wands. Like maybe you are putting too much energy into things that you really don't give an F about. This also feels like burnout. So, if you are not a sacral being, if you're a projector, manifester, reflector, then you need to be prioritizing rest. And that doesn't mean, like lying prone and taking naps. It can, if that's exactly what you need. But it's about honoring, like that hermit, and kind of like taking yourself outside of the hustle, like whatever relaxing is for you, whether that's reading a book, going, for a drive through nature, grabbing lunch with friends, whatever, like you need to be prioritizing rest. Even if you are a sacral being, if you're a generator, manifesting generator, we still burn out, and we burn out when we are doing things that don't light up our sacral. We're doing things that we don't love. And that could even be why there's these bursts of energy, because you're like, this is all that I have available for this dumb shit, and I'm just gonna cuss a lot in this reading apparently, so bear with me. We're adults, we cuss. So again, this kind of has this feeling of burnout, especially, so there's all these fireworks here, there's all these matches that have burned out here. So it's like, have you been trying to like rob Peter to pay Paul type of thing with your energy, and not putting it into something that you love? And again, with your profile, not putting it into something that motivates you. And then we have the King of Wands here. The King of Wands is the highest expression of the suit, right? And they're a leader. We were kind of talking about that a little bit with the fifth line, but more so about, people can look to them for wisdom, advice, even. There's a confidence that goes on with the King of Wands too. They're not, they're like their own authority. The King of Wands is like the entrepreneur of the tarot, because they need to have the creative freedom. I think all of the kings have, a thing about being entrepreneurial, or at least, like a leader in whatever type of role that they have. But I mean, specifically this one, and it's interesting because, we can see this lightning coming out, but it's coming outside of this figure, right? So it could even just be a little chaotic, or even like what I was saying with the Page of Wands, like a little all over the place. There could be like many branches. There's I don't know what the like scientific term is for branches on lightning, arms, or I don't know. There could just be like multiple things that maybe interest you, or that you have a responsibility over in some capacity. This could even be what, like how you, like your dream or your goal, right? Because it's also too like, the energy would be like emanating off of you. Like people around you would be able to, kind of feel that coming off of you, which of course, be careful of, because, there's those energy vampires out there that will just try to suck the life out of you. I don't know why that was even coming through. I think that's me projecting, because, they exist. Especially with sacral beings, like there's just an energy signature, because, like sacral people, like we have that engulfing aura where, people can recognize that we have the energy available. So they try to kind of tap into that. And that's kind of where protection things start coming up, like, doing protection work, protecting your own energy. And then it's paired with a star card, which is Aquarius. So there could be an Aquarius, there doesn't have to be. And the star card is all about trusting the process. It's faith, it's hope. It's, kind of, if this is the goal, if this is the dream, then, it's holding on to that. It's keeping that in focus. And I always see the star card as being that space between the 5D, where we manifest and co-create, and the 3D, like where we exist. And the star is like literally right between. And it's kind of like holding the space so that, like those two things, the 5D and the 3D, can come together. But it's all about, like taking actions towards what we are trying to manifest. So again, right, if this is the goal, this would be your motivation. And any steps that you start taking, it cannot be based on other people's motivation. It can't be other people's expectation, their goals, their whatever. It has to come from you. And again, the star card is here to say, like, you have to, like, first of all, hold that vision, right? Hold the vision in your heart and your mind and your spirit, and then the actions that you take have to be in alignment with what that goal is. We have the Mother of Wands or the Queen of Wands over here. And what's so interesting is that, we have this Father of Wands. And like I said, the energy is kind of coming out. And even going back to the Shaman card, and like I was saying with the Shaman card, how our energy gets zapped and gets stuck in places, right? Like this even kind of has that, it's like kind of leaching or seeping out, right? Even though it's the King of Wands, I mean, that's just kind of like the feeling that I was getting from that. And then we have the Queen of Wands, and it's dialed in, baby. Like, this even looks like a backbone to me. Queens are when we recognize the energy within ourselves. We give the energy of the suit to ourselves. We embody it, right? And then when we move on to the king, that's when we are able to share it, to explain it, to, you know, be an example for other people when we reach the king. And you do have both of them out here. This can be divine partnership. I'm just, you know, we're just going to say that since both of them are out here. But that's not, you know, that's just not how I feel like this is going. But if that's how it is for you in your life and that's how it resonates, great. But like I said, right, this feels like a backbone. There's confidence. It's like, you know, the flame is simmering. It's smoldering, actually. Simmering is, I think, water boiling. But you know, it's smoldering. It's dialed in, like I said. There's no leeching over here. This is like kind of living your life for other people. This is kind of living for yourself type of vibe. Or, you know, your motivation being for other people. The Queen of Wands would be the motivation for yourself. I love that. The Six of Pentacles in the reverse tells me it's like well, the Six of Pentacles upright. Pentacles has to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time, it's our physical body. The Six of Pentacles is give and take. It's reciprocity, like what you give to a situation, you'll get back. There could be other people involved too. It's charity, like investment, but there's generally like no strings attached. It's recognizing that you have enough for yourself and for other people. So it's kind of like, you know, you have the capacity to share your resources and your materials with other people. So with it being in the reverse, it's kind of like opposite of that. And I just kind of have this feeling of needing to, like, really kind of needing to like give to yourself for a while, especially if you have been giving your energy away. And this could even be like needing to truly go into hermit mode for a little while. I know we don't have the hermit out here, but with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, this is saying that it is not a time for charity. It's not a time to, and especially paired with the Queen of Wands. And like I said, queens are individual, like, you know, we feel it within ourselves. This is all about you and you needing to like meet your own needs. Do you even know what those are, right? Like giving yourself enough time to do that. And then we have the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. The Ace of Swords is about fresh ideas, new inspiration, seeing things from a different perspective. It's kind of like a paradigm shift. Swords are all about the mind. You know, it's our thoughts, it's our perception of reality. It's also ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to the experiences that we've had, and how those stories kind of shape what we do, what we don't do, you know, like how we enter into relationships, what we do on a daily basis. So the Ace of Swords, it is a new idea. And I love that this is coming at the bottom of the deck too, because whatever is like kind of going on in here, it's bringing you to this new, it could even be focus. I'm hearing in my head like this new focus. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck, or behind the Ace of Swords. Didn't I mention? Oh, yeah, I said the wheel changed. For me, the Wheel of Fortune, I don't care where it shows up. It's a good card always. And I mean, it's a good, card in this position too. But, it is about things changing, things moving forward. This is Jupiter. Jupiter is in Taurus for the next year. So, you might want to see where Taurus is in your chart. There might be just some new ideas regarding where that is. I mean, you can take a look at where Jupiter is in your body graph. Jupiter is down here. It looks like the number 4 kind of. Or, of course, in your natal chart. Also, the symbol is the same. Taurus is the 11th house for me. So anyway, you can take a look at that. But there is going to be some level of change. And it's coming, right? So this whole situation is happening. We get to this point of having this like kind of new focus, this newfound, like inspiration or whatever. And then the Wheel of Fortune comes in. We have the Mother of Swords behind that, which is the Queen of Swords. And I mean, there's like these icicle looking things here, but that looks like glitter to me. And, swords are also like very logical. So it's taking like logical steps forward. It's like, thinking of things logically. And, like the Mother of Swords or the Queen of Swords can be a bit of an ice princess too, like, just a bit cold. But again, it's like, it's absent of emotion. So, they're also very good at cutting through bullshit, which is great. 8 of Cups is, like recognizing when it's time to leave something behind. And that could be where this Mother of Swords comes from, because it's a very logical and it makes sense decision to leave something behind. We have the 3 of Wands. So not only are you leaving something behind, but now we're entering into this new kind of path. I love this like portal looking thing, because the 3 of Wands is about the actions that we take. The 2 of Wands is planning for the future. The 3 of Wands is starting to act on those plans. We have the Tower, we have the Lovers. Relationships could be affected here, which can be, scary sometimes, but also if they're not serving our highest good, they gotta go. So that the relationships that do serve our highest good have the ability to come in. And I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.